Howdy partners. This is boot camp day 4 and day 5. My rule book, in my rule book I have the questions. Wow, West Exodus. Oh, what is it living us? Oh. Anyway, right, so day 4 the question was, what's your setup? Share your painting area or your filming area. Day 5 was, how was your boot camp? Did you have a good experience? How will it boot camp prepare you for the July painting challenge? Well, I've enjoyed. This is my first one. What's on the next page? Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. I know it was only like a couple of videos, but hey, this is my first one. I love it. So I really had for the July painting challenge. I'm definitely up for it. I've got to get this. I've got to get this done. I've got to get the terrain done. I've got to get all the figures painted. I've already started 5. I've done them in 3 different stages. So what I'll do is I'll pop off for a minute, set up the camera, and then I'll show you my work area. Can you see me? Yeah, that's better. I thought it was a bit dark. I thought it was still the lights on. So give me 2 minutes and I'll catch you in a minute. Bye bye. Right guys, this is my paint station. This thing here. Well, it's not a paint station. It's a combination station. Here I've got drawers for keeping odds and sods both sides. It's still in work in progress. I've still got a lot of work to do to it. I've got roller drawers to go on the bottom here, you know, like drawers you can wheel out and move around the workshop, and put them onto my work table as well, so I can keep, you know, stuff in. Here I keep all my flocks and scatters in one side, and same with others. Everything and anything there, Woodland Scenics, Bosch, all the other companies. All odds and sods, spray stuff, sticks, and then all the glues and my expensive matte varnishes all kept in that side. All my other glues, mechanicals and stuff. I'll be starting that soon after I've done this Wild West Exodus Test of Honour. I've been collecting some of the box sets. I don't smoke, but in there stuff for making trees with, a few flames of war, more tools, more terrain in there, bits and bobs as you can see. I have 2 lamps here, both have magnifying glasses in. These are my Wild West figures down here. Now, as I said in my last video, these sprues, there's no extra gubbins on them, nothing at all. It starts from A to E, I think there's the last guy. Strip each individual down, start with A, work your way through the list. I started on the lawman. There's like A, B, C, D and E. A, B, C, D and E. Yeah. Start with him, whichever one you start with. I start with A, B, and so on and so on. Make sure you keep all the components separate. Don't strip them down. You know, do one figure at a time, because pieces fall off, and then you got to try and figure out who it belongs to. That is got your reference sheet there. There's no actual diagrams or anything. It's all numbered, all the body parts. Make sure you've got green stuff, because some components are on the sprue. It's easy to cut the bits off that you actually need. I did it with this guy here. I cut a bit off his right arm. Unfortunately left a gap. There was a gap in this shoulder elbow joint here. One of these figures had a slight problem, but other than that, I used precision potty cement, which is ideal. Don't use super glue, just use this stuff, because it sets them rock hard and that's it done. Now, as you can see, I've been doing some wiring, because one of the horses had a slight accident the other day, ended up getting tangled up in barbed wire, so we had to rebuild one of the electric fencing units. Other than that, yeah, this is a little, it's a pin vise, it's made of ash. I just buy a complete plank and I cut off what I need. If you want to know what these 2 holes are, this is of course if I'm using bigger stuff, a big piece of need cutting, I can get in there with a big saw, you know, a fret saw. I do have a jeweler's saw. I broke one of the blades the other day because I dropped it on the floor. You might see me using it. I was cutting the brass sword for the feet that I used to pin these to the bases with. That hole there, you got a clamp, fits into there, but I screwed this in to give me more support so it's more rigid, and then I just cut this, knock it down to whatever I need, or whatever piece I'm doing, you know, I work away. Sometimes it gets short and short and short until there's nothing left of this. Some you can get is just like a wedge, but I like using this system. I do have another one that looks like a wedge, but I hardly use it. I use this more often. Other than that, have one of these for mixing your paints with. That is my own little contraption at the end. Spin it around. I put that inside the Yarrrhoooo tubs and gives it a good mix. Now this is my old workshop. I do a lot of, as I said, I do a lot of terrain making. This is an 8x4 table. That's my compressor that I've had for about 4 years. This is my rig. I've set up for an airbrush on there. There's a water trap on the airbrush. This is my new workhorse. Got it for about 19 quid off eBay. Spirit of the Air is excellent. I have this long tube, what you call a pot, and then I have a small stumpy thing, but I use this most of the time. I have my water trap on there. I did have one on here, but I took it off. I had slight problems with this pipe here because it keeps popping out from the switch, so it doesn't actually turn the switch off. So it's loose at the top, so I've got to try and figure out how to repair it. Repaired this, got that was a brand new. This is about the third switch I've gone on off it. As I said, this was a complete old rig. There was just one what do you call it, quick release valve that was sitting on the front of that, along with a couple of gauges. It does the job what I want. I mean, you know, you can get a smaller one, but because I do a lot of spraying, I use bigger guns. Other than that little thing there, I only use that for doing my terrain. This is my system, my, what do you call me, undercoating. That's black. This is all acrylic. That's black, dark grey, light grey, and then white. These three I use for the highlighting, and I'll show you on my figures that I've done. Okay, back of the room is my little sander. It's clamped to the bench. I have special little clamps. My pillar stand, that box there is my jigsaw. It's a normal jig, but I turn it upside down. Acts like a fret saw type thing. This here is my chop saw. It comes on a big base that stands up on the floor, so I can move it around the workshop when I've got to go do jobs somewhere else. Got all my general bits and bobs that I need, my drills, screws and stuff, and then over here's my screwdrivers, all my electrics for my models and stuff. IEDs, not IEDs, IEDs, what do you call them, you know, the little thingy lights, electrical stuff and whatever. And that's it, all plastic bags and more sandpaper, then that's just a load of crud at the top. I've got to build a complete thing up there. Oh, I have a barbed wire making machine up there. Yeah, I do make model barbed wire, but it's broke down a minute. I have to repair it. It's been up there about 2 years. Oh, but anyway, so here is more shower, more sprays, glues and resins and more paints. I'm not really into buying tons of paints and whatever. I just use all the crap of the day. I prefer, that's the way I paint. As you can see, I use these two systems for doing this stuff, and then I have this for that acrylic free system, I think it's called, or Reeves or whatever it's called. Yeah, intro acrylics. I use all that stuff. I prefer it. I've always have them. I mean, I do have Yarrroooo and Army Painter stuff over there. All in there's all Army Painter, and then I have AK's, you know, weathering products in there, and I use them a lot on all my models and stuff. I have some balsa wood in there, you know, and then the rest is all plaster cards, all different thicknesses, and some embossed sheets in there, a few wires, and then these are all my little fiddly, you know, tools. You know, I'm a complete messer. Here I'm working on some woodland trees. I've just made these bases to plug these into. Yeah, that's it. And I have more tools in there, and these holes here are for doing fret work. Using my jeweler's saw, and I can do pieces on there. I do have a piece of wood that I normally drop in there and drill holes into it and keep it in. There's my little, one of my paint stands I make. I make these, make all these crocodile clips, and like this one, I keep all my figures in there. I do all this by hand. I'll make them as well. This is my metal grinder. It works for me. I've got it attached into a swivel standing vise. That's a brilliant tool to have. Other than that, that's it. So I'm gonna, oh yeah, for using the camera and stuff, tripod. You've got to have a tripod. Then I use a smaller one, and then this phone fits into this clip here, and I use all that. I do want to get myself a camera recorder, but you know, I've got to look at, you know, what gives a better picture. The camera recorder on my iPhone you know, I like the iPhone. It's easy to work with. You know, I can carry it around and I can, you know, redo the pictures. But other than that, oh, before we go, I'll show you my figures. I'm not, but I turn the light on. Okay, these are what the figures look like when they're put together. Of course, this was in black. Oops, there we go. This was in black, dark grey, light grey, and then the white. And I've started painting this guy so far. If I can just focus in there. Now look at that badge. I've done nothing to the badge. That's just the highlight, and look at the gun and the detail, and this guy is unbelievable. They're all the same, like. These deputies are amazing. The weapons are superb. Just look at the detail, and the buckles on this guy are just amazing. Look at the boot, gothic boot. They're a Wild West figure with steampunk, you know, that type of thing. But the detail there, I know the weapon horses looks rather large, but hey, there you go, it's steampunk on it. So there's a lot of metalwork on this guy. Now the front of the jacket is fine. I'm not happy with the back of it there, and the back piece just below, you know, just here. I'm not happy with that. I have to rework it. It looks dirty, but you know, maybe I'll just keep it that, or maybe whiten it down a bit. Now I did have like grey pants on this guy, and then I thought, oh no, I'll give him denim, and then I thought, oof, it's still working. I've still got to do a lot of highlighting. But I'm telling you, when you, now what I do is with the airbrush, rather than, you know, I undercoat in black, and then I come from above and I spray it down, you know, from above to catch the raised areas, and then, you know, same as this guy at the top. Oh, turn him around. There we go. Yeah, you know, it really picks out the detail, and then when you get down to the white, if it brings it a bit closer, stick it onto that there. You know, the white doesn't have, you know, it pulls out the detail so you can see it. And also, you know, there's the odd one or two mould lines that I've missed. You know, when you come to scrape it off with it, you know, whatever tool you're using. But I'm telling you that, when you come to paint, it will always find the mould lines that you've missed. And then what I do is I use my camera, I photograph the model before I start painting it. And then, you know, but I didn't do it with these because I was in such a rush, you know, I was too excited. But I would reckon that would be the best way, is photograph your model all sides to find out, you know, if you've missed any mould lines, and then go back and finish them off before you start undercoating. But there you go. Other than that, that's it guys. I'll sign off now, and I'll catch you later, and I'll prepare myself for this July painting challenge. Till then, toodaloo, bye bye.